TYT Sports recapping a great weekend in boxing with Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of boxing.com. Robert, how are you today?
I'm fine. How about you, Rick?
I'm doing well. Let's start with the undercard that could be treated as the main attraction on Saturday night. Brandon Rios and Mike Mile High Alvarado. You know, there are many things that I want to break down in this fight. Firstly, for those of you that have not watched the fight, I'll give you a second to pause this video and come back because spoiler alert. Okay, now, firstly, Rios was on top of him like white on rice throughout the entire fight. What did you make of Alvarado trying to outbox Rios and trying to work off of his jab during this fight?
Well, I think that is the blueprint that any fighter is going to have to adopt in the future if they're going to fight Rios. Clearly, one cannot trade with Rios. Punch for punch is not going to do it. The only way anybody is ever going to beat Rios is by trying to outbox him. So I think that strategically, Alvarado had the right idea.
In the seventh round, Rios absolutely rocked Mike Alvarado with an overhand right, and then he just stayed on him like crazy, threw a bunch of combinations, left, right. And then he finally knocked out Mike Alvarado with the help of referee Pat Russell. They spoke to Russell after the fight, and I give Russell a ton of props for talking to HBO's Max Kellerman. Here's what he said. It was clear I gave him, as in Alvarado, opportunities. I thought he was defenseless, and I didn't want to see him get hurt. What did you make of the stoppage? Did you think that it was a little premature?
I did think it was premature. I think that the fight could have gone on a little bit longer. It appeared that Alvarado was defenseless. I mean, his hands were down. He was sliding along the ropes. I don't know what he had left at that point. But the truth of the matter is, both of those fighters were hurt during the fight. I mean, Pat Russell, who I respect a great deal, may have not have wanted to see Alvarado hurt, but of course they were both hurt during that fight. That was the sort of fight where fighters get hurt. He did what he had to do. It was a judgment call. I don't really object to it. Alvarado didn't object to it, and Rios, of course, was victorious.
As you said, they were both hurt going back to the fifth round, which many people are calling one of the best rounds in this year's boxing calendar. So, yeah, both of them were hurt. It was an absolute slugfest throughout. But let me ask you really quickly about Mike Alvarado. You know, he was trying to do the Philly shell defense, and he just kept getting hit with the left hands because, as you saw, he would try to protect his body with his right hand and try to protect his chin with his left. But the entire right side of his face was susceptible to a lot of punches. So was that, I mean, look, you can't change a guy's defense overnight. I totally understand that. But was that sort of the wrong call? Should he have covered up more fighting against a great puncher like Brandon Rios?
Perhaps he should have covered up more, but Alvarado considers himself a great puncher. He was there to fight. It was really a do-or-die battle, as you well know, having seen the fight. I think that he really adopted the right strategy. I mean, it was try to outbox him because, again, Rios is not a boxer. Rios is a slugger. He is fairly one-dimensional, incredibly gifted, tough as could be, as you know. His will to win is unsurpassed. But I think that Alvarado did what he had to do in order to win the fight. Of course, he didn't win the fight, but he did what he had to do if he was going to win the fight.
Prior to the stoppage, Robert, did you have Brandon Rios ahead on your scorecard?
I did not. I had Alvarado ahead, despite the judges, I believe, had it otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, at best, I would have it as a draw. I thought that Alvarado was outboxing him. So now we turn to Brandon Rios, who now is 31-0-1 with 22 knockouts. He's only 26 years old. We were talking last night prior to this interview, and you said that, you know, his life expectancy in boxing will not be as long as some of the other great fighters that we've seen in our time, like a Bernard Hopkins, among many others. You know, Bob Arum was saying that there could be a rematch, but he could also fight the winner of Juan Manuel Marquez, Manny Pacquiao. Which one would you like to see?
I would rather see a rematch, frankly. I don't know why Pacquiao would want to get in the ring with Alvarado. He can make millions.
With Rios. Yeah.
I'm sorry, with Rios, yes. Pacquiao can make tens of millions of dollars without getting himself pummeled the way he would get pummeled if he were to fight Rios. It's not to say that he wouldn't win the fight, but he would take a beating in the process. I don't know why Manny Pacquiao would want that at this point in his career.
Well, why would Bob Arum then? Because he's the one that threw out the idea. I mean, is he just deceiving the public by saying this?
It wouldn't be the first time, nor would it be the last time. I mean, he says what he says. He hopes that he can make the fights that he wants to make, but that is really ultimately going to be Manny Pacquiao's decision, not Bob Arum's decision.
So Mike Alvarado now falls to 33-1 with 23 knockouts. He's 32 years old. Who knows what will be next for him? But let's just focus on Rios for at least one more question. I mean, you said that you would prefer to see a rematch. What did you like about what you saw from Brandon Rios? Aside from that pit bull mentality of always coming forward, cutting down the ring, staying on his guy like crazy, what did you like about him in this fight?
Well, he really is this generation's Arturo Gatti. He is simply a thrilling fighter. Again, he is not multifaceted, but he is positively thrilling. He's willing to really risk life and limb to go out there and do whatever it is he needs to do to win. That's a particular aspect of boxing. It's not the only aspect of boxing, but it is a particular aspect of boxing, and one that the fans love. I mean, the outpouring of love going in Rios' direction is really incredible. But as incredible it is, it's also as well-deserved, in my opinion.
Robert Exel, the editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. You can follow him on Twitter at boxing_com and follow his great writing at www.boxing.com. Robert Exel, thank you so much for the time, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Sounds great, Rick.